You won't believe what happened to Aaron Kaufman from Fast and Loud. He was a fan favorite working alongside Richard Rawlings to make the show a huge hit, but out of nowhere, Aaron decided to leave, leaving everyone shocked. Why would he leave such a successful show when he was so important to it? Join us as we dive into the real reasons behind his surprising departure that will send shockwaves inside the entertainment industry. Behind the scenes of his sudden exit, let's try to unpack why would decide to leave the show so unexpectedly. First off, his leaving was a shock because he was one of the top guys at Fast and Loud, right up there with Richard. You see, the show did well not just for the cool car rebuilds, but because he and Richard worked so well together. They always spoke highly of each other in public, and it seemed like they managed to get along without any big fights, which can be rare in high-stress jobs like theirs. But then he just up and left, no warning, nothing. It made a lot of fans wonder what really happened. Before we delve into this, it's clear that what happened behind the scenes is far more dramatic than anyone could have imagined. And this won't be the only thing that will shock you. Before we dive deeper into Aaron's story, it's worth mentioning that he wasn't the first to exit the show. Tom Smith and Jordan Butler, two well-liked mechanics, had already left the show before him. However, their leaving didn't make waves like he did. Maybe it's because he had a deeper connection with Richard in the core of the Gas Monkey Garage, which is the workshop where the show was filmed. Even though Tom and Jordan were also important to the team and were really good at what they did, their departure didn't raise as many eyebrows. The news of Tom and Jordan leaving hit the fans hard. These two were skilled mechanics and seemed happy with the show, so their sudden departure seemed out of the blue. Rumors started to fly because it's hard to believe that such key people would just walk away without a solid reason. At first, people didn't even believe the news. They thought it was just gossip because, as we know, anyone can say anything online. But then as more websites started reporting the same thing, it became clear that Tom and Jordan were really gone. This news spread quickly and had fans scrambling to find out why. Now, fans handle this kind of news in different ways. Some fans refused to believe it. They couldn't imagine Fast and Loud without Tom and Jordan. It's like when you get used to having your favorite characters on a TV show, you don't want them to leave. This is something psychologists talk about a lot. People prefer to stick with what they know and often reject new information that contradicts what they believe. This is called confirmation bias. It's why some fans held on to the hope that the news wasn't true, despite more and more reports confirming it. However, when the departure of Tom and Jordan was finally confirmed, it hit the fans hard. People felt like they were losing part of their TV family. Tom and Jordan were not just mechanics. They were like those fun, interesting relatives who could light up a room. Their presence made the show about more than just cars. They brought life and laughter to it, making viewers feel like they were hanging out with friends. So why did they leave? Well, people usually keep quiet about their reasons for leaving a job, especially in the TV world. They might be dealing with personal issues or disagreements that they prefer not to share publicly. Sharing that kind of stuff can reopen wounds and make it harder to move on. It's common for people in these situations to want to leave quietly without stirring up more drama. Speculation about Tom and Jordan's reasons for leaving continues. It's possible they wanted something different from what the show could offer them. Maybe they dreamed of starting their own businesses, or just wanted a change of pace. In America, there's a big appeal in being your own boss, and maybe that's what they were after. But without their side of the story, all these are just guesses. And that brings us back to him. His exit was even more confusing given his role in his close relationship with Richard. You'd think he'd stick around, especially during the show's high points. But he left, and now everyone is left wondering, just like with Tom and Jordan, did he want more from his career? Was he tired of the TV lifestyle? Or maybe there were things going on behind the scenes that made it hard for him to stay after learning about Tom and Jordan leaving. Let's focus on him again and start digging into the big questions about why he left. The unexpected exit of two fan favorites. These questions show just how much fans get attached to their favorite shows and stars. They don't just watch for the entertainment, they also feel a connection with the people on the screen. When those people leave, it can feel like a personal loss. That's the power of television. It brings people into our homes and lives in a way that makes them feel like family. As for him, Tom and Jordan, only they know the true reasons for their departures. Unless they decide to share their stories, fans may never know the full details, but one thing is sure: their absence is felt. And the show just isn't the same without them. Fast and Loud continues, but it has lost some of its spark, the special something that these three brought to the screen. Fans will just have to wait and see if the show can find a way to bring back that magic, or if it will continue to change as new faces come and old ones go. Tom decided to sit down with TMZ for an interview when the timing seemed right. Many people thought he might talk about leaving to start a new show, because that was the popular gossip. However, Tom had a different story to share. He revealed that he and his colleague were actually fired by their boss, Richard Rawlings. At first, Tom seemed reluctant to go into details, probably to avoid badmouthing his former boss, but the interviewer was very good at asking questions, and gradually Tom opened up about the real reason, and they were let go, which involved an incident with Rawlings' car. Tom explained that Richard Rawlings owns a lot of cars, but he has a particular fondness for his Rolls-Royce. He treasures this car and always makes sure it's kept safe at the Gas Monkey garage whenever he's around. Tom and his colleague Jordan assumed Rawlings' attachment to the car was similar to how other wealthy people love their luxury items. They like them a lot when they buy them, but the fascination usually fades. This assumption was a mistake, as they soon found out. One day, a visitor with fibrosis, a condition that affects the lungs, came to the garage wanting to take some photos. He was allowed to look around as much as he wanted. At the end of his visit, he asked if he could take a photo next to Rawlings' Rolls-Royce. Tom, thinking it was just a simple photo, agreed immediately. He knew Rawlings loved his car, but he didn't think taking a photo beside it would be a problem. Unfortunately, this decision would have bigger consequences than Tom expected. When Rawlings saw the photo of the visitor next to his Rolls-Royce, he was more upset than Tom had anticipated. He started shouting and swearing, which surprised Tom. Tom believed that their job was to make the fans and visitors happy, and allowing someone to pose next to a car seemed harmless. However, he quickly realized that Rawlings did not share this view. In many workplaces, employees are expected to remain silent when their boss is upset, especially if they want to keep their jobs. However, after Rawlings shouted at him, Tom couldn't hold back and responded angrily. This reaction surprised Rawlings and made him even more upset. Jordan, another employee, supported Tom, which only made things worse. Rawlings decided he had enough and chose to fire both Tom and Jordan from the garage. This incident became the talk of the town and led to many speculations. People speculated that Tom and Jordan left to start their own show called the Misfit Garage. While there's some truth to this, the Misfit Garage was more of a plan B. Tom and Jordan would have preferred to stay at Fast and Loud, but after being fired, they needed a new place to showcase their skills. They joined forces with other skilled individuals who were also considered outcast in their fields, and together they started the new show. It did well initially, but faced challenges later, which is common in business, with Tom and Jordan's reasons becoming clearer. Let's shift back to Aaron's story, where things start to get even more interesting. How they took their own path. Tom and Jordan now run their own shop called Fired Up Garage, where they compete directly with Gas Monkey Garage. They aim to win over the market and establish themselves as top players. Interestingly, it's reported that Richard Rawlings has invested in their new venture. So even if they manage to outperform Gas Monkey Garage, Rawlings will still benefit financially. Now, let's switch gears and talk about why Aaron Kaufman, another key member of the team, decided to leave Fast and Loud. His departure was even more shocking and caused quite a stir. He was the lead mechanic in a crucial part of the garage. His leaving was unexpected because he was a central figure right after Richard Rawlings. It's hard to imagine someone so integral to